All right, so I've done a few things to clean up the drums, and I've made a little drum beat here. And I've also utilized the steps modulator to modulate the loop length of the individual samples in the sampler. So let me bring back the expanded view here. So I'm still dealing with the same 3 samples that I brought in before. And what I did is I wanted to be able to loop the ends of these just so that I didn't have the tail end of the entire drum loop playing if these samples played out longer than I intended. An easy way to make it so that I can find the sample that I'm playing with my MIDI keyboard. As you can see, it's switching now when I play the notes. What's nice is that when we enable this button right here, all we have to do is just play a MIDI note. And if that sample happens to be assigned to that note, then we can see it very easily by just playing that note. So I'm switching to my different key zones. And as you see here, I just enabled a loop. This is an alternating loop. The sample has an alternating loop as well, and that's a forward loop. And then this one has a forward loop too. You can hear that the volume is dropping a little bit as the notes are sustaining, because in the AHDSR envelope here, I brought the sustain level down relatively low. I increased the decay time so the volume doesn't drop immediately. So we still get the attack of the drum sounds here. And like I said, I use the step modulator to modulate the length offset of the loop. So while we are in the expanded view, you'll get a better idea what's happening. I'll play the drum beat so you can hear what I did. And then I'm going to use, like I said, the repitch mode to do something pretty interesting at the end of these sounds. So again, these are all drum sounds. My key tracking is off. All right, so they're all playing back at their original pitch. And even though they're drum sounds, the reason I didn't use the one-shot envelope is because this disables the loop, and I didn't want to disable the loop. That was part of what I was going for here. So anyway, check out the results so far. Okay, so that's what we got going on so far. So far, so good. Now, what I thought would be cool is at some point, either at the end of every 2 bars or every 4 bars, for the pitch to drop as if a record is stopping, and then for it to pick back up on the 1. This is an effect that's used a lot, and there's a lot of plugins that are dedicated to doing this very effect. So we can do it pretty easily ourselves. I'm not going to use a modulator to do that. Well, actually, you know what? I am going to use a modulator because there's a brand new modulator in Bitwig 2.4 that would be perfect for this. So let me go into my modulators here, and I am going to grab Par Sequence 8. Boom. This modulator is awesome because you basically have a sequencer of 8 different modulators that can modulate any number of different things. And once you get to that step, whatever modulation is assigned to it will happen. So like I said, I think I want the pitch here to drop maybe every bar. Let's see. Not every bar. Every 2 bars, I think. So I'm going to make it so that each step is the equivalent of a quarter note. And since we have 8 steps, this will equal 2 bars. On the last step here, I want the pitch speed to drop. So I'm going to assign this modulator here to repitch. Then we're going to drop that pretty much down to 0. Maybe like that. And I want to make it so that this will have a smooth change so it doesn't just automatically drop. I want it to slow down. So we have smooth here, and I'm going to increase this quite a bit. All right, let's hear the result of our modulation. Nice. Now, my only problem with this is that with smooth on, it's also smooth going back up to the initial value, which I rather it wasn't. I'm going to go for the classic LFO. And I'm going to make this a square, and this square is going to turn on and off every bar. I think it should be. Okay, cool. So now I will assign this to the smooth parameter here. And we're going to just bring this all the way down like so. All right, so now let's try this out. Aha, I have to do this the opposite way. Let's adjust the phase here. Let me see, and I also don't want this to be bipolar. So if we do the phase at 50%, it should change it so that the on and off pulses are switched around. Nice. There we go. Okay, so now finally got some drums going on, and I want to layer some other sounds here to get some interesting melodic stuff going on. So let's keep going deep.